The truth is that right here, surrounded by all these cameras and in this special scenario, it looks like we are back in time to talk about all devices. And that's the idea, because Olympus is trying to get back some of the charm they achieved with the Olympus pen cameras back in the 50s and the 60s. But we are not in 1959. This is the year 2009, and what we have here is the new Olympus E P1, the long-awaited and first Micro Four Thirds camera from the Japanese manufacturer. We are not going to explain one more time what the Micro Four Thirds system is, because this is not the first camera that uses this technology. Let's not forget that Panasonic already has two cameras based on this system, the G1 and the GH1. What's special about this camera is the style and the design that offers. Actually, if everything goes as planned, at the moment this video goes online, we will be in Berlin testing the final units of this new camera. But we couldn't wait that long, so we got one of the first prototypes to land in Europe 1 week before the release. It's not the final model, so we cannot go out to take some pictures. What we can do instead is explore how it works and compare it with other cameras as long as tested with different kind of lenses. We will talk later about all the technical specs, but the first thing that catches our eye is the design of the camera. We just love it. Elegant, solid, with metal parts all around it, delicate details, and that vintage touch that suits the camera perfectly. We will also take a good look at the menus and how they work, but there are a couple of details worth mentioning, like the leather frontal handle that let us grab the camera tight, the wheel here, and the main dial. They are all in the same line of the general design of the camera. The Olympus E P1 will be available in silver and white, and the lenses will be in black and silver colors. So for now, we are not getting a whole black camera like the one we were wishing for. There's no way to make everybody happy when you release a product. We do like that the camera is solid and heavy, but that aspect doesn't seem to be one of the favorites in the female market, which the camera seems to go after. As we can see, the Olympus E P1 is a little bigger than what we expected. To have an idea, we put it next to the Sigma DP2, a compact camera, and the GH1 from Panasonic, another Micro Four Thirds camera. It is true that the E P1 is the smallest camera that can have different lenses attached to it, but it's not that smaller when compared to the Olympus E450, for example. Besides the size of the camera, there are a couple of details worth mentioning. One is that it doesn't have an electronic viewfinder, and the other is that it doesn't have either a flash. All that comes as external devices. What's really small is the lenses. Let's not forget that this is not a DSLR, but you can change the objective. This is the 14-42mm for the Micro Four Thirds system, and this is the 14-42mm for the 4/3 cameras. There's a big difference between them, as we can see. What's more, this lenses has a trick. Once we put it in the camera, to keep the small size, we have a lock position that we have to unlock before we use it. When we finish the job, we can lock it again.
A 28-82 milímetros. Cuando acabamos, cuando queremos transportar la cámara, basta con volver a plegarla y mantenemos el tamaño.
With the E P1, Olympus is releasing also two new Micro Four Thirds lenses, a 14-42mm that we have already talked about, and a 17mm f2.8 that will suit the camera perfectly. But like we said, this is a Micro Four Thirds system, so we can use any lenses that is based on this system, like this new Lumix G7 14mm that on this camera it offers a coverage of 1488mm. We have been playing with this for a while and the results were spectacular. But one of the best things about the Micro Four Thirds system is that other companies are launching adapters so we can use all lenses from other systems in the EP1. For example, with this adapter, we can use any lens based on the 4/3 system in the new camera from Olympus. We can also use this Leica 25mm f1.4, or we can even try weird things like attaching the Olympus 50-200mm. The truth is that it's not really a really bright idea, but hey, it's funny. Just like in the G1 from Panasonic, the shutter is up, there's no mirror, so the sensor has no protection at all. We like to think we will have no problem at all with this, but it's a little scary to see the sensor so unprotected. Talking about the shutter, you might be wondering what's the sound of the camera. Maybe we are too demanding, but it is quite noisy. What's going on is that the shutter has to do a double movement to simulate the live view function because there is no mirror, and that makes quite some noise. However, it's less noisy than the G1. To take the grips of the camera is quite easy. We have the usual menus from the DSLRs from Olympus, combined with menus taken straight from the compact cameras of the company. We can use two different wheels or dials to control the speed and the shutter, and we have short keys to access the white balance function, the ISO, and the speed. And we have also a special button that we can customize.
Hace ya tiempo que las prestaciones de la EP1 no son ningún misterio. Incorpora un sensor CMOS de 12 megapíxeles.
We have known the technical specs of the EP1 for quite a long time now. 12 megapixels, stabilizer, and, that's a surprise, an ISO of 6400. It also has some creative filters like the black and white, and we tested this with a high value of ISO, and the results, again, were fantastic.
Sí que le sientan muy bien. Hemos estado, por ejemplo, probando el blanco y negro antiguo con estas sensibilidades extremas y la verdad es que los resultados son muy aparentes. Curiosamente, todo este clasicismo, todo este aire retro viene acompañado de una prestación que hasta ahora no.
What's funny about all this classicism and vintage touch is that the camera can record video in high definition and with a resolution of 1280 by 720 pixels at 30 frames per second. What we really enjoy and like is that the camera lets us control the aperture while recording video. And we can also use the creative filters we talked about before when using the video function. And by the way, all the pictures and videos are stored in SD cards. So this is the first camera from Olympus that is not using XD picture card.
Se convierte en la primera cámara de Olympus que dice adiós a las tarjetas XD picture card. Y de momento poco más. Sabemos que la Olympus EP1 saldrá a la venta.
So that's all we know for now. The Olympus EP1 will be available in July with a price tag of about 800 euros and with the 14-42mm. There are many questions yet to be answered, like how the camera works when taking pictures and recording video, as long as how it works when we use other lenses. Anyway, what's clear is that we are facing one of the most interesting proposals of the year, and this should open a new path in the digital photography world. We must confess that us, like the rest of the users, are quite excited about this new camera. All that's left is see how the market will embrace it.
Bastante entusiasmados. Ahora solo falta por ver qué tal reacciona el mercado.